The member for Etobicoke Centre.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and I'm pleased to rise in the House today to speak in support of the motion for interim supply for the 2015-16 fiscal year. You know, Mr. Speaker, in this legislature, every day, we debate a range of issues that are important to our constituents because we believe they will improve the quality of life in the people in our constituencies and across our province. And today I speak to a motion that is important to ensuring that we continue to make those investments to preserve the services that Ontarians rely on every day to support the quality of life that we all enjoy. As mentioned by the Government House Leader earlier today, this motion is fairly routine, but it is important, and it is an important part of the fiscal cycle. It provides the government with temporary spending authority in order for the government to continue to fund important programs and services during the beginning of the new fiscal year, which starts on April 1st, 2015. Now, specifically, this would ensure that we can continue to implement the government's plan to support a stronger Ontario. And the plan, of course, is built around a number of pillars: investing in people, building modern infrastructure, supporting a strong and innovative business climate, but all of this, Mr. Speaker, on the foundation of fiscal responsibility. And as someone who, as the PA to Minister Matthews at Treasury Board, I can vouch for the fact that that's exactly what we're doing, that we're trying to invest while on a foundation of fiscal responsibility. We are committed to responsible fiscal management, making sure that every dollar counts as we work towards balancing the budget. I mean, that's one of the things that I heard from my constituents when I was out in the community during the election campaign, and I've heard it a lot since, and I hear it in my constituency office, that they're asking me and they're asking all of us here to make sure that we're getting maximum value for the dollars that we invest on behalf of the people of Ontario, whether that be in education or in healthcare or anywhere else. And I know Minister Matthews and all the ministers who are here today and those who aren't present at this moment are working towards that objective. We know, Mr. Speaker, that the road ahead won't always be easy. There will be challenges along the way, but I think we have a plan that we can be proud of, a plan that invests in the people of this province and the programs and services that they rely on. And so what I want to do in the few minutes that I have is just talk about some of the highlights of the plan for fiscal 2015-16 and beyond. The government has made substantial progress on its plan to build Ontario up and to create a fairer and more prosperous province. And we're committed to building opportunity, creating jobs, and ensuring long-term security for people across the province. Again, by investing in people's talents, by investing not only in the present but also in the future. So we talk about investments, we're talking for the future, we're talking about things like infrastructure, like roads, like transit, and also creating a dynamic and supportive environment for business. And that's critical. That's critical because that's what allows us to create jobs in this province, to preserve jobs, to create jobs, and to provide for the prosperity, support the prosperity that Ontarians deserve. And our economic performance, Ontario's economic performance, has demonstrated that a number of these policies, many of these policies, are bearing fruit. So, for example, Ontario saw an increase of about 1,300 jobs in the month of January alone. And since the low point of the recession in June 2009, we've added 508,700 jobs, and almost 348,000 of these jobs were in the private sector, Mr. Speaker. So, a lot of jobs, a lot of growth since the recession, and I think this is a reflection of the hard work of Ontarians and the hard work of this government that's implementing policies to support that recovery and economic growth. Unemployment is down from 6.9% from a high of 9.5% in June 2009. And this is good progress, but there's more work to be done. And in that vein, I just want to highlight a few things that are being done, a few highlights of the work that's being done. In 2014, the Premier led a trade mission to China, and she secured almost $1 billion in new investment, and this will create more than 1,800 jobs in communities across our province. The Minister for Citizenship, Immigration and International Trade and the Minister of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs will be leading a mission to China next month to help small and medium-sized Ontario businesses engage successfully with the Chinese market. And I talked earlier about the importance of not only investing in the present, but investing in the future. And so to help with increasing population growth and demands on infrastructure and services, we're also investing $130 billion in public infrastructure over the next 10 years, including $29 billion for transportation. And this is important because it'll ease congestion across the GTA and the Hamilton area and support the building and maintenance of roads, bridges, and other critical infrastructure. This supply motion supports the continued funding of this plan. the continued funding of this plan that provides these critical supports to our economy and to our infrastructure across Ontario and services across Ontario. And just these investments alone that I talked about, particularly ones in infrastructure, will create more than 110,000 jobs this year. So when I think about the priorities of the people of my riding, the people of Etobicoke Centre, and all across Ontario, I also think about our health care and education. And our government is committed to invest in hospitals, but also expand funding to home care, something that is so important in so many of our ridings, but also particularly in my riding, where we have one of the highest proportions of seniors of any riding in the country. And we've also committed to strengthening and continuing to strengthen the quality of our education system here in Ontario. Our Minister of Education here is with us today, and I know she's doing excellent work on that front. We're going to do all these things, Mr. Speaker, while continuing to work to eliminate the deficit, knocking it to a forecasted $8.9 billion on our way towards a balanced budget in 2017-18, but we're going to do that responsibly. The Premier's Advisory Council on Government Assets was asked to find ways to increase efficiencies and unlock the value of government assets, and we look forward to receiving the Council's findings, which will inform our decisions to increase revenue and reinvest in priority infrastructure projects. The supply motion we're talking about today allows us to continue forward with this plan. And that supply motion and that plan will not sacrifice important public services with across-the-board cuts, but at the same time, we do recognize the importance of spending restraint. And so due to the government's efforts, program spending is projected to grow at an average rate of 0.8% through to 2017-18. Ontario continues to have the lowest per capita program spending among provinces and the lowest total government revenue per person among provinces, including funding for federal transfers. I think this is a sign of the work that this government is doing. In addition, we'll continue to make every dollar count, ensuring Ontarians get value for money. The Program Review, Renewal and Transformation Initiative that Minister Matthews is leading will look at how every dollar across government is spent. And we're going to use evidence to inform our decisions and to improve outcomes for people. We're working across government to find the best way to deliver programs and services, again, always seeking the best value for the people of Ontario. The program review is building on previous action taken on our government, including the implementation of recommendations from the Drummond Commission, Mr. Speaker. And we're also going to take a strong but fair approach to managing public sector compensation and benefit costs. Speaker, on a personal note, I'm honoured to be working with Minister Matthews and Treasury Board to protect important services by working towards a balanced budget and ensuring that we maximize value for taxpayers' dollars. Mr. Speaker, I started by speaking to the fact that we're here to improve the quality of life of Ontarians. I think that we are, and to do so we need to continue to support the government's plan that I just spoke of and support the key services that Ontarians rely on every single day. That is why this interim supply motion is so important. Supply motion would give our government the necessary spending authority to finance important public services that Ontarians rely on. I encourage all members to support this motion so that we can continue to provide the best and most dependable public service possible and to continue to improve the quality of life of all Ontarians. Thank you, Speaker.